Shabbat Shalom, Temple Emmanuel. It's a crazy week. It always is if you watch the news and listen to what's happening. But it's interesting that somehow it's all beshared. It's all meant to be. This Shabbat is called Shabbat Pinchas. And we read about a census and we read about zealotry. But we read about what is so beautiful about the daughters of Zelophehad. And these daughters, as they speak about inheritance, that their father had died in the wilderness, but hadn't betrayed God and was always loyal to the Jewish people. But he died, and when they were talking about inheritances, the daughters of Zelophehad, who had no brothers, were not allowed to inherit. They weren't allowed to inherit what their father was owed for his loyalty and for his service to the Israelites. And they rallied against Moses. They said, wait a second, just because we're women, does that really mean that we can't get an inheritance for all that our family has done to support and be a part of this Jewish people? And eventually they were successful, and they won their inheritance, and they won their rights. And the challenge for the daughters of Zelophehad then is the opportunity for us now, as our people have always fought, particularly as Reform Jews, fought for justice and equality in this world. This past week we saw as the Shas minister for religion in Israel rallied against Reform Jews and said that Reform Jews are not really Jews at all. The world, the non-Orthodox world, rallied around Reform Judaism this week in Israel. And even the Prime Minister came out to denounce his remarks. David Azulai is no friend to Judaism, as he engages in sinat chinam, senseless, ugly hatred of fellow Jews. And the Reform movement has always fought for justice and equality. And Israel continues to be contentious because they know that the more Israelis that are engaged and see Reform Judaism for being inclusive and pluralistic and spiritual and beautiful want to be a part of it. And it's a threat to the establishment. Some of my colleagues have called for the Prime Minister of Israel, for Bibi Netanyahu, to kick Azulai out of his cabinet. It remains to be seen what will happen. But we must always be vigilant and continue to fight for freedom and democracy and for justice and equality and for what Reform Jews have always believed in. That's what we stand for today and what we will always stand for. If you believe in Reform Judaism, if you believe in religious expression and freedom in what we believe in, be proud of being a Reform Jew. Take it seriously. Be proud of our heritage and what we strive to believe in, those sense of Jewish values. With that, this Friday night, we have options for the celebration of Shabbat. 6 p.m. a Shabbat service, 6:30 a Tat Shabbat, and following both of those services, we'll have a Shabbat-barbecue. A first of the summer. Come join us for camaraderie, for food, for good community, and even more so, for standing up for Shabbat and what Shabbat believes in, the sense of peace and tranquility for each of us as we close another week. So I wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom, and always remember that freedom is never free as we continue to move forward to stand up for what's right. Shabbat Shalom.